Hello, it's Dr. Danielle here of Emotional Physical Therapy. And today I want to talk about attachments and the difference between attachments and intentions. And I'm speaking from personal experience here. I'm not speaking from an objective perspective. I'm talking from my own personal experience. You see, this year, 2019, marks 7 years since I submitted and taught a class at a former employer, former university, entitled Introduction to Energy Healing. And the intention that I had then was to launch emotional physical therapy. And along the way, there's been a lot of starts and stops because I had an attachment to how things needed to play out in order for me to finally do who I am. And I don't know if this is true for you. I don't know if you do the same thing, where you have in your mind that things have to unfold in a specific way in order for you to. You see that? You see how that equation, we write that equation in our minds, and by writing an equation for how things should take place in order for us to, negates the impact of our being a co-creator of our life. You see, we are to have the intention and then allow the universe to bring all those things into being for us. And I know it's that trusting that gap between setting the intention and it actually coming to be that is the scariest, because we've been conditioned that we must have every detail planned. Now, I'm not saying don't write down the details. I'm talking more along the line of saying that the details have to happen in order to. Because, see, the details are how we allow ourselves to visualize, how we allow ourselves to actually begin that formation. It's like conception, okay? Once we know that we're pregnant for women, okay? Once we know that we're pregnant, we don't have anything else to do but to nurture through taking our vitamins, through making sure that we're eating right, that we're taking good care of ourselves, because it's within that internal environment that our most precious gift to ourselves and to humanity is formed. So it's the same way with our dreams, with what we say is our purpose. And I say what we say is our purpose because even when it comes down to what our purpose is, we look for external validation about our purpose. 7 years ago, I was very reluctant to say, when people asked me, well, what is your purpose? I would say coach well-being, but leaving out that I'm an energy healer. I'm an empath, and I help people to heal and to actually be okay with the emotions and what the emotions are telling them. And what comes up is coming up for resolution. So therefore, why not heal? Why not let go of what's not, what's not being beneficial and constructive to our lives? So 7 years ago, I was reluctant because I wanted someone to say it's okay for you to be an energy healer. And that is what led to all the stops and the starts. So being attached for how things must transpire in order to be, that leads to suffering and frustration. But even with the suffering and frustration, you can turn it around by what? Surrendering and releasing. So we know the difference between intentions and attachments. And in that gap between, trust that what's coming up is coming up for resolution. And what usually comes up are all the things that say that if it doesn't transpire the way that you have detailed it out, that it's not legitimate, that it won't happen. And that's not the case. We allow into our lives what we imagine and feel. Okay? So imagine it, feel it, trust. I know that sounds easier said than done, but it is important because you see, yesterday, when I was asked in a room full of women that I only knew two, okay? And even I hadn't said I'm an energy healer. But when that moment when I was asked and I said I'm an energy healer, I'm a coach, I help people to discover what it is that they've kept hidden inside of them. I said that from a place of, yes, certainty and purpose. No need for external validation. All right? So, set your intentions, imagine them, feel them, and then allow them to come.